Bingo. If you've never been here before, welcome to Bingo Night. Two teams are going to be playing a set where the games only matter so much as if you can tick off these squares on this bingo board. This could be a new one every set. Goal is 5 in a row, just like normal. Got a bit of a smaller group tonight, so it's just going to be 3 teams playing round robin. But we're here for a good night of bingo. And they've got a game going. Both teams have somewhat similar comps, definitely different ideas, but sword, blaster, both sides. Pikachu seems to be off to a strong lead. They have a bubbler up, but Big Squid beats those. They seem to be losing some footing. Here comes Oma with a steel chair, absolutely destroying the rest of them. There was a Kraken behind them, apparently. Taco starts to stagger. Specials come out on the side of Pika, Scoots, Glue, Rose, and... They seem to be having a lockout set up. Oh, and the steel chair is put down. This is the fate of the Wiper player. I love my hammer, but it happens. It always happens. Except when it doesn't. Which is when the world is working as it should. This blaster is really locking down. Kraken comes out, it's going to be very difficult for Taco Gecko to get any kind of footing back here. The game's just about over, they only have a couple seconds. They are not able to flip. Any thoughts on that, Sim? You always have that next level analysis. I'm always surprised. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the two teams, you see, one of them made up of, largely lower level players, and Omazen, and then the other one, having some generally higher level on average players, but with these comps that are going to be coming out, you really don't know what direction these games are going to be going. You know, we can definitely see a comeback coming out for Taco Cat Goat here. That last comp, there's 3 in a row for only needing the Wiper and the Big Swig, which are actually quite synergistic with each other if played around well. It's going to be a little bit of a rough time to come back from this. Being on the back foot on this tourney puts you in a couple disadvantages. Obviously, there's the mental, but suddenly the other team has a lot freer comp building, especially if you can get your first win with at least 3 weapons in a row. So we're gonna have to see how Taco Cat Goat decides to answer this, if they want to go for 3 in a row themselves to line them up for the victory, or if they maybe want to pick a new line that's gonna counterpick Wiper and a Big Swig, which maybe we see some mid lines. And now we're going to be getting into the second game of the tourney. We do see the Wiper and the Big Swig coming out from the Pika team. And kind of an immediate starting to push, but they seem to be losing steam. They're holding mid well, but they're going down. Taco Cat Goat, notably the only team that has cooler here, but could not matter. Pika team just continues to have the more positive interactions. It seems like every time a fight happens, it's a swinging advantage for Pika team. And that's a very snowbally tower game. Which happens. Especially on this map. I think we definitely saw the Big Swig come out strong there. Unfortunately, I don't think we saw any line marker kills. That is a bingo, winning round 1 for Pika Sifgidland I believe, unless we are... Oh, we are playing all 5. We are... Are we? No, that is simply a mistake on the... Okay. And sometimes that's just how the bingo goes. And again, it gives quite a big advantage to whatever team tends to win the first game, so going from that directly into a very snowbally game mode, tower control on a game map that tends to snowball, it's understandable. I am definitely looking forward to seeing this next game. We got a new... I believe we have a new bingo card for this one, which is exciting. We're going to be seeing a new host of weapons. Well, we're probably going to be seeing a new host of weapons anyways, even if we don't have a new bingo card. But... Oh, no, we do have a new bingo card. Great. We've got more chargers on this one. It seems like every possible bingo, if I'm seeing this correctly, does require a charger, so hopefully you have at least a backline player or somebody who is confident on their squiffer aim. In fact, this is very backline heavy in general, not a lot of front lines here at all. Some weapons to look out for definitely are that decavitator. You know, in a lack of strong fighting weapons, that decavitator is going to be... Oh, and the 52 gal are both going to be very dangerous tools if they can get set up and get in on all of the weapons that like to play further back on this list, but again, they may have trouble getting in with all of these weapons that like to play further back. It's kind of hard to say right now. It's going to depend on what comps come out. Pencil being the free space is very fitting. course. Excited to see if anyone decides that Undercover Umbrella is what they're gonna dig in and try to win with. This is zones on Ramen. Reef Slider is good here, and the mines and shield can keep you well defended in your own street, so I don't know, maybe we'll see it. There's a 52 gal on this list, so you know, it just does all that better, but that's just 52 gal normally. For anyone just joining, welcome to Bingo Night. This tourney is a gimmick. Surprising, if you couldn't already tell, where everyone is going to be playing bingo with their weapon comps. Winning with a weapon ticks it off on this little bingo sheet. There's a different one for every set, and the set is won instead of when you win a certain amount of games when you have bingo on this board. So we should be getting underway soon with the set between Pikasev Galuna Rosemon 27 and Sheep Slider, my OTP, on Ramen Zones. And here we are, getting into the game with Picasif. Picasif Galuna Rosemon 27 and Sheep Slaughter my OTP. Decaf coming out off of one side alongside the pen, as well as the very midline focused team comp consisting of the, pardon me, Neo Splash and the Nautilus. Definitely playing much more passive than the coolerless comp. However, both of these are much more passive than any of the comps that we saw in previous games, with a C-leader double midline dualies being on the opposite side. However, we are seeing a kind of consistent theme of coolerless versus cooler teams. Here comes that cooler team, speaking of which. The crab's doing some good work, however, strikes are coming out and it's making it difficult to approach. Bomb spam is... Oh, and here comes... Oh, that splashdown is going to make it very difficult for Sheep Slaughter my OTP to dislodge Picasef Luna Rosemon 27 out of this lockout. We do have another round of specials coming through, but so do Picasef Luna Rosemon 27. It just seems like they're going to have a very difficult time breaking through this wall. Even past the specials, this Decav and... Oh, yeah, I was just about to say, the Decav and Nautilus have been giving them a lot of trouble, but it seems they go down and they seem to immediately flip the zone. They have a lot more time now, 70 penalty points. Specials come back out again on Picasef Balloon Rosemont. Oh, and there goes the Decav cleaning up a kill. It's going to be very difficult to get them out again. They have still very little time. These penalty points tick down way faster than they feel. Oh, and the dualies get caught. Unless they flip here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble as Picasef Balloon Rosemont 27 starts to flank and also get their specials coming out. Another down, still no flip on this, another down. If that crab doesn't do something really... And it didn't, so there goes the game. It's probably going to end right here for Picasef Balloon Rosemont 27. Currently undefeated at Bingo. After just that one game, again, Picasef Luna Rosemont 27 is in a very good place, having 3 in a row, as well as 2 in a row, if they would rather decide to stick with the Squiffer V-Charger and Vanilla L3. Which does have a pretty good kit, all things considered, in an environment where it is not actively outshone by Splash. However, we could see them pulling out the Bamboo Undercover. This would allow them to have a lot more flexibility in their team comp. I would also like to mention that I'm currently the only person on the mic. However, we do have a open mic, so there may be some people coming in, coming out. it's again a similar situation of PKSF Luna Rosemont 27 having this pressure advantage, not just in what weapons they can pick, but also in the mental state. However, this is a much less snowbally map. It can definitely go out of control, but it's much more favored towards taking the game slow if you can keep the other team at your pace. With all these backlines, that may just be something that is able to happen, but we'll see. And we're getting into the next match. PKSF Gloom and Rosemont 27 choosing to go with the undercover and bamboo route, while Sheep Slider, my OTP, seems to be sticking with what they used last game. They must be more comfortable on these weapons. Immediately, a very aggressive Neo Splash. A absolutely crazy play, but it seems to be working as they are just able to be here. If they're able to pop special here, this could be a huge advantage, but they are not. However, they do still get a lot of space, and it seems like they're going to be able to score. There's 2 power clams coming in very, very quickly. PKSF Luna Rosemont 27 just moving so fast out of the gate, and again, creating this devastating lockdown. This lockout situation is just going to be very hard for Sheep Slider, my beloved, to clear. They do have the range if they can find places to stand and be safe, but the specials are being cycled, the clams are being gathered, and oh, you hate to see it as another one goes down, and they're able to just stand behind that cover on the right of basket, getting in a littles and littles more clams. Seems like the basket is about to close, no one-push knockout, but that is a devastating, devastating opening. Sheep Slider, my beloved, seems to be coming back just a little bit, but they have been caught in a very bad situation. Now needing to retreat to mid, getting specialed. The bamboo is on them. However, this E-leader seems to be getting some very good picks, especially on this Nova. This may open up a little bit of a opportunity for Sheep Slider, my beloved. As I say this, the undercover gets a double. As triple? Quad? Not quite, but still an absolutely devastating delayed wipe. Another push seems to be coming in for PKSF Blue to Rosemont 27 as the strikes, here come the lasers, it's just an absolute storm of damage, blocking. Oh, I couldn't even finish my sentence, the game's already over. PKSF Luna Rosemont 27 just absolutely outspeeding the rest of the competition. Running away with it is an apt statement with how fast, not just the games, but with how fast they're taking advantage and moving up. And once again, that is PKSF Luna Rosemont 27 winning in 2. That is a bingo right there. We're gonna be taking a short break before we move on to the next round, so, stick around, maybe. And we are back. We're gonna see Sheep Slider, my OTP, versus Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. We have another new board. Immediately, I am seeing some very fun weapons on this. I'm personally immediately drawn towards the S-Blast because it's the S-Blast. But notably, this charcoal decapitator is sitting right in the free space. So, anyone who feels confident in their sword and jetpack gameplay may just have an easier time. However, a lot of these lines going through the middle have some very specialized picks, let's call them. Not just everyone is going to want to pick up an Explosher, or a vanilla Golden Dynamo, but we'll see how these team comps shake out. Another line that looks strong immediately is maybe the second column. We might see somebody who is partial to their dualies try to make the custom dually squelchers comp work, or even make it work along the bottom line, which has two uncommon kits for relatively common blasters and a vanilla charger. As we always are at the beginning of a set, we're back on zones, and let's see the comps. And we do see that bottom line coming out from Sheep Slider, my OTP. And Taco Cat Goat seems to be going for an interesting approach. They are using that charcoal decapitator and Gal, making for a double wall comp. Seems to be a very bombless game, except for the charger. Taco Cat Goat did lead a little more commandingly, but they seem to be getting beaten back by Taco Cat Goat, who is picking off members one by one, especially as their specials are coming out now. However, we're seeing the back come out. We may see some sort of plays come out of this. The brush goes down, and the zones are neutral. No points are coming on the board, despite the fact that Taco Cat Goat seems to still have some sort of control. However, they have now lost it as they back up to their dome. Here comes the decapitator going down, the crab comes out. Crab and Gal fighting with the brush alone. Unfortunately gets picked off by the longer range options. We do see that pro winning that fight with CDS. That's going to be probably one of the more important checks, as the relatively short-range team of Sheep Slider My OTP deals with the cooler-fueled aggression that Sheep Slider My Beloved. Wait, no, Sheep Slider My OTP. Yes. There's a lot happening right now as specials get traded back and forth. These team names are certainly not helping. But Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is back in control, somehow getting the lead. It felt like they were out of there for much longer, but it seems like the zones and the points just did not come down for Sheep Slider. Sheep Slider... What is the team name? It is Sheep Slayer my OTP. As they are getting beaten back with specials being cycled. However, this blaster is really giving a lot of AoEs suddenly coming out and people just go down. This is potentially a really big opportunity for Sleep Slayer my OTP. We'll need to get some key picks here and deny a lot of entry. It goes 2 down on each side. This could still be a commanding lead for Sheep Slayer my OTP. You see the Charcoal Decapitator peeking on the right. The Crab comes out and Sheep Slayer my OTP seems to be losing control of the zones. They're going to be receiving penalty points, and there they go. Sheep Slayer my OTP is going to need a serious push to get the win on this game, and they seem to be struggling a bit as they just get pushed in here. However, the Charger picks off the Charcoal Decapitator. They seem to be in a great position to move into mid. The question is just if they can convert this into a lead. Here comes the Decapitator. They seem to be giving the other team a lot of trouble. And again, Sheep Slayer my OTP is able to take the space, but unable to hold it as Taco Goat Cheese Pizza just comes in and dislodges them. The double wall is just a lot of trouble for this team, as now the Gal is in their spawn. Specials are being cancelled frame 1, but that is just Reef Slider moment. As 8 ticks are on the scoreboard, it seems that this game is about to end. A well-earned victory from Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. They had a little bit of trouble at some sections. This game was definitely closer than some of the earlier ones. And we can see that they have a 4 picks of the diagonal filled out already. That is a very, very big deal. If they're able to... Sheep Slayer my OTP is going to have a very rough time. Again, being the team that loses the first game is such a hard position a lot of the time. And now this is even harder. We haven't seen this yet, but winning the first game to have only 1 weapon left to win with means that basically any comp you can fit Inkjet Spammer into is going to be good. We're back to second game tower control. This could be another similar looking set of a round 1 win followed by a dominant round 2 sweep, but Sheep Slayer my OTP has an opportunity to turn this around. They aren't committed to any one comp yet, so we could see if they maybe have another idea they want to try. In my experience, teams usually just run back comps that they lost with, maybe invest a little bit more into the line they're already on. we may see some counter picks on the board from the Inkjet spam we know is going to come out. We may see one of the blasters come back. And we are into the next game where we do see a change from Taco Cat Goat for sure. We have a Rapid Pro Deco Double Blaster Zap comp. Very interesting. And I think a good choice. It's going to have a lot of AoE and allow them to just really force a lot of advantageous fights, but oh my goodness, I could barely see what happens, as it looks like the machine, followed up by the charger, got a full wipeout. Specials are being traded back and forward, but we see the VAC on the side of Sheep Slider, my OTP, neutralizing the other team's Booyah Bomb. This could be the recovery that Sheep Slider, my OTP, needs. We see the CDS getting forced back, but dragging an important member of the team with them, getting that trade. Unfortunately, the game is still in neutral, and a hard fight for mid is happening. Zap versus Sap. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is beginning to get a good foothold, but they're unable to keep 4 up as they come into the first check, and unable to keep an eye on that charger, which seems to be giving them so much trouble with that respawn Punisher. Suddenly, we're almost 2 minutes in and nobody's even... Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza has barely even touched the first checkpoint, where Sheep Slider, my OTP, has fully cleared it. If they're able to get a push, even somewhat, onto their bats, we may see Sheep Slider, my OTP, run away with this game. They are 2 down, but they do have cooler, as it seems that push for Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is finally beginning. It seems like they're clearing this first check. Just barely. As they have now taken the lead. They're just jumping to tower, using this cooler, and just riding this for as long as they can. Sheep Slider, my OTP, is fighting them in mid, but they still are not fully out. Sheep Slider, my OTP, seems to be gearing up for a push of their own. However, it's a bit of an unstable time. They've used their special, they have a Booyah Bomb coming out, and it seems we may have a DC? The blaster has fully stopped moving. As has the camera. Oh, and there goes the blaster. Incredibly unfortunate for Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. But that is definitely too late in the game to be replayed. And it seems that Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza are playing this out. They have a hard-fought minute 30 to keep this lead. It is not very large. Any push that gets up... Again, any push that gets up Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza's bats is going to have an easy time making this score. So we're just going to see how they keep Sheep Slider, my OTP, stuck in mid, which they seem to be doing with their remaining blaster and a lot of Inkjets. That is 2 on 2. Notably, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is still cycling their coolers. Sheep Slider, my OTP, has had, oh my goodness, a whole minute, and finally, they seem to be getting something started. That wipeout may just be the game, but we have the S-Blast that's maybe able to come in and make something happen. We may see a Inkjet coming in, and there it is. There is that S-Blast stopping the tower. There is now a chance, but it seems like the lead is swapping hands. Just barely. It seems like this game is going to be an unfortunate, but still hard-fought loss for Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, as Sheep Slider My OTP gets on the board. We're finally seeing some back and forth here. Sheep Slider My OTP seems to be locked into that bottom row. They're going to need to pick 3 weapons for this next game if they want to win it with this one. Whereas Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza still only has to win with that Nova. We're not going to be on tower control anymore, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to leverage the Inkjet spam, depending on the map mode. And we're still going to see at least 2 blasters to keep that Inkjet in check, so... It does make me wonder, though, if you win a game, but the weapon that you're trying to tick off DCs, would you still get that weapon? I assume so. Maybe. Now, while Sheep Slider My OTP is most obviously set up for this bottom line, theoretically they could pick any combination of 4 that they have set up. There are some interesting comps that they could choose here, going off of other lines. Brush, S-Blast, Dread, Squeezer. One possibility that on this map mode, Scorched Clams really doesn't seem like a bad comp at all. Sheep Slider My OTP is still very much in this game, and a lot of the comp building and mental pressure has been taken off by just getting through that second game. As we're getting into this next game, we should be able to see what these comps are going to be looking like. And yes, we are sticking to that bottom line, but it seems like Sheep Slider by OTP is trying to drag this out to at least another game. Taco Cat Goat still trying to end it right now, bringing out the Tetras. Very interesting pick. Makes sense for this map, but against this 52 gallon, against this machine, it's going to be a little bit difficult for that Tetras to get that consistent entry. 52 doing 52 things. My goodness. Gets another, just an absolute menace, a wall against this team. Finally getting taken out by this enemy Zap. Not just for 52. Multiple enemies of Sheep Slider My OTP are going down, and now it seems to be an opportunity. The sodas are coming out, the Slider's going down. And suddenly, what looked like a promising opportunity to score turns back into a neutral position. That just happens on Scorch sometimes. There goes the machine, as they seem to have died without Cooler. This is going to give Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza a bit more time to get a push set up. They're almost to Cooler themselves. As we see the first push really get under the other team's basket. Will it end up with a score, though? There seem to be interrupted by the Gal. And there it is, the first score of the game, 2 minutes in. Some more clams trickle in, but this seems to be a push. Oh! I may have spoke too soon. No. No, some more clams do indeed trickle in, but this push is not going to be huge. However, sometimes on this map, you don't need it to be huge. You just need to play the middle of the map better than the other team. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza getting back in with another push, unable to dunk that second power clam. I have spoke too soon this time, as Oma comes in out of nowhere, and suddenly these slow but steady pushes spiral this game a little bit out of control. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is a lot more disadvantaged now. They're going to have to push their way back into mid, but with this kind of lead, it might be just fine, especially as that Tetra gets that huge kill. That 52 has been a serious force of disruption against Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, and stopping them early, ahead of their wall, has really put a dent into Sheep Slider My OTP's plans. The power has been formed and seems to be being pressured as the Booyah Bomb comes out. One goes down far right. A jump goes down. This may be the start of the score for Sheep Slider My OTP. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is going down one after another, but the Booyah Bomb comes out to stabilize. We see the strikes coming out. If some more clams can trickle in, we may see a lead switch, but no. They're pressured out from under the basket, and now mid is much more neutral. Less than a minute on the board. This is going to be a difficult recovery. Already getting pressured by the Tetras with their slider. As the cooler comes out, here it comes. Unfortunately, Slider has a Slider moment, but the Tetras are able to capitalize anyways. We see 2 down on the side of Sheep Slider My OTP. Neither team really has the resources to score. However, being so behind them... Oh. I thought they had a power clam. I was going to say being so behind them may have left them open, but no, they just... There was no power clam. And there we go, another bingo. Our next match is going to be a single grand final set between our top two teams. And with that, I believe that should be the very last set of our tourney. We're going to be coming to a close pretty soon. An exciting night of bingo has been happening so far. Some very nice, interesting team comps being thrown together. Some shoving Cooler into team comps where we can. We've definitely been seeing quite a bit of Zap coming out, which is notably not on this board at all, but I believe we saw it most games this set. This goes to show you the balance that you're going to be trying to strike between picking out the spaces and having a well-rounded team comp. Alright, and with that we should be good to go to a break. Grand Finals will be happening soon. And welcome back to Finals, everyone! We're going to be seeing the run back of Taco Cat Goat versus Pikasifka Luna Rosemon 27. We've got a new bingo card with new exciting picks. Notably, the Big Spig is on here, as it should be in all important bingo cards. Actually, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the one from round 1, and yes, there it is. There's the updated version. This is the round. This is the finale bingo card. Unfortunately, there is no Big Swig, but we have to keep living. This is the only choice, unfortunately, without our Big Swigs. But we do have the Decaf Ever Reliable in so many of these bingo cards that we're likely going to see people picking out. Just immediately, that middle row looks very enticing to anyone who has a good bucket player and a good Decaf player. The support from the double strikes is sure to be pretty oppressive on a map like this, on Umami Zones. But of course, we'll see what every team picks as we get into the match. Which we will be now, very quickly. And we do see... Interesting. From Taco Cat Goat, we do see that Decaf double strikes coming out with a zap, a very strong team comp. However, from Pikasifka Luna Rosemon 27, there is a much different team comp, also featuring a zap, but with a Luna and a V-Pro, as well as this bamboo that the other team's going to need. Now, notably, as this is finals, both teams are aiming for double bingos. Just one bingo is not enough in this final round, so either way, this is going to be a significantly longer match. And as Pikasifka Luna Rosemon 27 starts to really get their lockouts set up, it's still pretty staggery on either side. Neither team really has the strongest foothold, but with coolers and specials, it seems that there's still a very strong hold for Pikasifka Luna Rosemon 27. Taco Cat Goat trying to force their way in, but dying in the bubble. Now being forced to have this very far back cooler to try to force their way in. Specials are coming out, but they're already one down, because it looks like this may be the game right here if they aren't able to make something happen quickly. The zap goes down to the Luna, and they're just too far from the zone to make anything happen. Now, I will say, in every game so far in this tourney, every set in this tourney, the team that won the first game has taken the set. Taco Cat Goat is going to have a serious track record of not just Game 1 winning teams pushing their way to victory, but also specifically Pikasifka Luna Rosemon 27 having such a dominant track record this tourney. They are bingo returners, unfortunately not winning the last one, but with these there have been some new changes to the rules, such that wins are calculated if nobody is able to achieve the bingo, or in this case, double bingo, that the team with the most pips in the row is going to be the winners. Which is actually something that lost Pika. Not all of Pikasifka Luna Rosemon 27, but some of the members last tourney. So they are back with a vengeance to claim their bingo win. Moving now to Ramen Clams. Interestingly, Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 does not have 3 in a row in any line, only 2 in a row in 2 different ones. That does set them up for a couple different possible bingos right out the gate. You know, despite the fact that they have to win more games, it is now even more on Taco Cat Goat to figure out a way to even the score between before Pegasus Gluto Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, my apologies, to even the score before Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 is able to start converting these wins into some serious bingos on the board. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to possibly seeing an L3D. I like the weapon in it as hammer, so I think more hammers in the world is like more joy in the world. It's just a good thing, generally. It's a very nice thing to have more hammers. As we're moving into the next game, we'll see if there are any hammers. Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 trying to close out one bingo, possibly moving the way towards multiple, whereas Taco Cat Goat seems to have switched up what line they're going for slightly, and is now running a throwback to... Well, I would say a throwback to double crab meta, but honestly, this is ironically contemporary, taking pieces from different metas. However, even with the more standard picks, it seems that Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 has just taken a much more aggressive start and is able to convert a lot of pressure and a lot of picks out of their opening. We do see a score, but this seems like it may not be a huge point swing. Definitely important, though, as we see the Reef Slider coming in. Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 is able to maintain a very strong mid-presence despite the fact that their push is ending. We see one of the crabs coming out. We should be seeing another one soon. However, a member of Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 goes down. Another member goes down. This Inkjet is out, and it goes down. This could be a huge turnaround for Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. The crab comes out, they have cooler in case something goes wrong. They're able to get any space, it'll be very big, but oh, the Tri-Slosher is able to get behind again. Once again, they're able to force their way in, but they don't seem to be able to establish a lockout quite yet. However, as the decap comes around and a splash gets picked off, they're going to have a lot of control behind them. Decap seems to be out of position, but they might be able to get away with it anyways. They're going to have a very good matchup against these two V-splashes if they can control the spacing. We see the Inkjet come out. This could be a huge possibility for points for Pegasus Gluto Rosemont 27 as the Power Clam comes in. And there's the big point swing. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. This Power Clam comes in, that's a near knockout. It does not. However, it is still a lot of points on the board that Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is going to have to make back, and they have not had an easy time just staying forward, especially against this Tri-Slosher, which is giving them so much trouble. If they're able to hold their lines and use their specials to make space, they may be able to make something happen. But currently, they're just getting pushed out. Even with these specials coming out, they are getting cornered and surrounded by, again, this Tri-Slosher absolutely laying into them. The decap comes out as the equalizer, is really starting to clean things up. The Sniper Rider getting picks as well. Once again, it's an opportunity for Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. This game is going to be hard fought. Cooler comes out. Notably, with the pencil, they should be having much faster coolers, but this Tri-Slosher is just being so much more... It's living for so much longer that the coolers are way more equalized than they would have been. And now, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is forced to crab in their own base in the last minute of the game. This is really not a good sign if you want to be getting those points on the board, which they really need to be. Picking up Galuda Rosemont 27, just able to hold some strong positions and really make Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza work for any space at all. In fact, it seems they just keep pushing further and further in, about to get more points, maybe. Oh, and the Reef Slider double! There it is, 10 more points on the board. It seems like there may be a few more from this Nova, and there are, as we reach less than... It is now just 15 seconds left in the game. It's going to be a near knockout required from Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, and with that sharking Tri-Slosher, they're going to have a really hard time getting grouped up well. They're able to catch them, and unfortunately get caught by the second sharking weapon, that charcoal decapitator. It's not over yet, though, as they have specials, they have space. If they're able to force something big here, they could still score their power clams. If they're running out of time, they're not going to be able to make it at this rate if they don't... there's the Reef Slider. In that choke point, in that little corridor, that's where Reef Slider shines the best. Certain maps, it just really performs well when the geometry doesn't decide to fuck it over entirely. Now, this is a very interesting situation. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza has yet to get any bingo spaces on the board, but Picasep Galuda Rosemont 27 has an opportunity if they pick 4 weapons on this board to get the double bingo right here, right now. I will say, the comps that they will need to run will be kind of wonky. End parries, Dread D, Gold Arrow Spray, alternatively substituting some of those weapons for perhaps the GooTuber, Vanilla Bloblobber, and Vanilla Tri-Slosher. We did see a lot of the work from the Tri-Slosher last game. It's possible we could see it again. However, that doesn't leave a lot of fighting power, as Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza seems to be really focused on just trying to take a game and get points on the board. With the double weapon of Splash last game, they were very clearly intent on just picking something strong, but even then, it didn't seem to fully work out for them, especially with the unfortunate matchups of that Charcoal Decapitator. Goodness, Picasep Galuda Rosemont 27 from that first game seems to have planned out their entire attack with this triple forked possibility for Bingo being set up by their unusual team comp first game. The biggest question coming into this game is, will Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27 choose a comp that is able to fight and snowball better on this possibly final map of TC Mako Mart? We saw this map earlier, it really snowballed out of control. But that was a very fight-heavy comp that forced that. However, it was Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27 forcing those fights with unusual weapons. They don't have the Big Spig this time, but they could still bring it home. And we do see the Tri-Slosher coming back, but not the vanilla Tri-Slosher. The Tri-Nouveau rounding out the team comp, going for the double bingo on the side of Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27. They're going to have a difficult time fighting through these strong picks of what seems like it could just be a straight-up normal team comp from Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Booyah Bomb spam is going to be a big deal in this match. Double strikes from Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza are going to do a great job of moving Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27 out of the way, but they're going to be able to stabilize if they can just keep getting these Booyah Bombs and keep winning these trades. And it seems like they were able to just force some good trade wins, which is, again, how their last match on this map mode was won. You see the Booyah Bomb coming out huge as they're able to use that to fight through. The Dread really making some good usage of its range. The Dread is cornered here, but they may be able to get out of this. They are not. The Decapitator really making sure that they don't do anything strange. Oh, and that pick on the Tri-Slosher is huge. Again, that Tri-Slosher has been a huge boon for Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27, and if they can keep that Tri-Slosher in check, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza may be able to get their push continue to go. And it seems like I must not have been paying attention as much as I thought it was. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza has been the ones more in control of this game. Their lead has been holding. It is not very large. They've only just cleared that second checkpoint. But clearing that second checkpoint is a huge deal in this map. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza has a very serious opportunity to neutralize this set. If they do not DC. Hopefully that was just a weird thing happening with the camera. However, Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27 seems to be getting some very good picks, and with those strikes landing just off of tower and the dualies causing so much trouble in spawn, there goes the lead. Little structures are being placed by the Dread D as the pen tries to displace them, but they are just using their AoE. Decapitator assassinations happen, as is expected, but they are traded back, and it's just positive trades and positive trades for Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27. This could be the end of the tourney right here. Pikasaphka Luna Rosemont 27 still cycling those specials, still cycling those coolers. They're not out, and they're still moving the tower. They start to go down, but they're still there. As another Booyah Bomb comes out, and more members of Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza goes down. We may have a knockout situation on our hands. Pikachuck, Luna, Rosemont 27 seem to be backing up, taking the more conservative approach, not trying to force the knockout. But this is a very difficult push to come back from, especially when they're still getting these trades. Under a minute left, Pikachuck, Luna, Rosemont 27 is giving a lot of trouble. The splashdown coming out could be game-winning, as it gets a crucial pick. There are only 30 seconds left. Trades are still happening, and Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza has so much work to do in this last leg of the game. There's a difficult overtime ahead of Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. If they can even get to the tower, the Shredring are just maintaining their space so well, being supported by these Booyah Bombs. It does seem like we are going to have an overtime situation. However, this Dooley is making a lot of trouble. If they're not taken care of, that splashdown could be game-winning, and it was. That is the tournament. Pikachuck, Luna, Rosemont 27 taking the double bingo on a tower control Mako victory. Not a knockout, but certainly a commanding victory. It's always nice to see unconventional weapons really thriving in this tourney, and I think we really saw a great showing from especially the Tri-Slosher in this last set. The Alpha Grandmas have been crowned. Pikachuck, Luna, Rosemont 27 are taking home their title, their little bingo ball badge, and some third thing that I haven't thought of yet, as they commandingly win these finals. Thank you so much for coming to this tourney. It has been a really great time. Discord is open for feedback. As we can see, the tournament is continuing to change and evolve, as it did from last time. And, if there's not any other housekeeping to take care of, I believe that should be about it. Alright, well, thanks everyone, goodbye. I have been, Crow. This has been, Bingo Night for Original Message Deleted. Look out for more Original Message Deleted tourneys. They are the best gimmick tourneys. Bye-bye!